Okay. So a question I got asked today was, is it good practice to transfer patients between therapists, or should a patient stay with one therapist exclusively throughout the treatment plan? My answer, if you have more than one therapist in the business, then I would say you will almost owe it. You almost owe it to the patient to make sure that they are seen by multiple therapists. A lot of confusion and, again, kind of a false belief exists that patients only want to see one therapist. Now, I completely understand it if there are certain skill sets that a patient has, or a therapist has, really specific skill sets that a patient needs, and if one therapist can only provide that, then that's fine. But we all know basically that 8 out of 10 therapists are very good, very capable, and can do a job that 8 out of 10 patients need. So when we're looking to grow and scale a business, one of the things that'll get in the way is the ego, and I'm going to say that very loudly. The ego of the of the therapist will get in the way, that they feel as though they should be the ones who have that patient for life. They don't want to let it go. A lot of therapists can't live with the fact that another therapist in the same organization might be as popular or as well liked as they are. And usually that is the reason that PTs will want to hold on to their patients. Now, of course, they'll tell you that that's not the truth, and they only are doing it because the patient feels as comfortable with them. Now, what we don't really want from a business owner point of view, and that's all I care about, in terms of who's watching this video, I care about you, the business owner, and helping you to grow and scale an organization on your terms. You don't have a patient if they have a relationship with the therapist. You do not have a patient. That patient has a relationship with that therapist, and what we need them to have is the relationship with the Paul Gough Physio Rooms. It causes lots of problems when patients ringing up saying, "Can I have an appointment with Johnny?" and Johnny's schedule's full, or Johnny's on holiday, he's on vacation, or Johnny's left. Patients will often say, "Well, I'll wait 3 weeks till he comes back if he's on vacation," and we don't want that to happen, because it's going to leave gaps in your schedule. So it's not good practice to do it. I look at it from a point of view that the standard of care that they get is actually better if they see multiple therapists, because 3 pairs of eyes is better than 1. That's just a fact. And more importantly, if a patient is arriving at your practice and you have a lot of staff there, and they only have a relationship with one member of staff, they're not going to feel very comfortable when they arrive, because they're all the time looking for that one therapist or that one assistant PT that they know. And what we need them to feel is when they arrive at your practice, we need them to feel as though they know everybody and everybody knows them. And the more touch points that they have with more members of staff, the more that the patient will have a relationship with your organisation and will be happy to stay and be a patient of your organisation, of your company, for life, not just for the duration that a certain therapist is there. And one of the ways, or one of the objections that you might get from a PT is that if they've spent that first 60 minutes getting comfortable with that patient, their objection might be that the patient will have to start that again and will have to feel as though they've got to go through that process all over again. And that, again, can be shortcutted. We can overcome that by simply having the person who did the initial evaluation take some information from the patient that is something about them, something unique. I call it a unique, my Mystique database, something that is very valuable to help the conversation start up again, so that if, for example, in session number 2 they have to see a different therapist, or you make them see a different therapist because that's the way you run your business, all the conversation has to start with is, "So Steve tells me," nice one, good one. So Steve tells me that you are a big fan of the Jets, or Steve tells me that you have 2 grandkids and one of them's just gone to kindergarten. Tell me more about them. If therapist number 2 in session number 2 starts the conversation like that at the beginning of session number 2, all of a sudden that patient feels incredibly special, feels recognized, feels significant, feels comfortable, feels warm, and as much as anything, just feels fabulous that they're doing business with a company that cares enough to actually speak about them. That patient will feel more special than any one single relationship that they might or might not have with a single therapist. So again, my message, if you are trying to grow and scale a practice and you are bringing in more staff, the best way to do it is to make sure that Your patients are seen by multiple therapists so that they build a relationship with your business and anybody within that business, not just one single therapist. And if you do that, you will have less scheduling problems, you'll have less ego problems with members of staff who get above their station, and generally you're going to be able to run that business on your terms for the good of the people that you serve.